Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Girl. Well, not an episode. Welcome back to the Girlfriends and Goals podcast. My name is Samaria, and I'm joined by my best friend and co-host Miosha. And today we're reviewing Married at First Sight, season 17, episode 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there we go. Before we get into the review, please make sure you subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and let us know in the comments what you thought about this week's episode and the couples. All right.
Yes.
Maybe we started out with Becca and Austin because there's not like so much on Emily and Brennan.
Well, to touch on one thing with Emily and Brennan really
Okay.
quick is I thought it was interesting. One of the first things that he asked was like, "Oh, so this is your first relationship?" Which is exactly why we didn't want her to bring it up. And from the previews we see, it keeps coming up. I really hope that this is not her storyline or her personality of how inexperienced she may be in a
Yeah.
relationship. And then I also wrote down, I thought it was weird that one of the first things she asked is like, "Oh, do you like to party?"
I was not surprised at all. So
I mean, I wasn't surprised, but I was surprised, if that makes
that is
sense. Like,
so
I
funny.
may be thinking it like, "Oh, what's your vibe?"
Yeah.
But I would not ask
Straight up.
someone.
You like
Yeah.
to party? No, I thought it was interesting that that was the first thing he asked, but I also expected that because it's like,
Mm,
it's one of those things where you wish they would stop bringing it up. Like, okay, girl, you
please.
haven't been in one. To say it in your vows to the stranger, like, are you trying to get him to run away? Like, what exactly was the point of her doing that? I think it's something that you bring up later on. Like, yeah, this is actually my first serious relationship, but you don't say that in your vows because he's not the only person hearing your vows. His whole family is there, his friends are there. And so I just would have kept that to myself for now.
Of course, when he starts to ask, "Oh, well, what was something that you feel like you could have done better with your ex?" Well, by the way,
I don't really have any serious relationships, but
mhm.
the relationships I
Yeah,
did have, this is what I learned from them, something like that.
yeah,
Um,
but yeah, so that's all I had on
I
them.
said they couldn't find anywhere inside for them to hang out because it was like 34 degrees. There's this page I follow that was like, it was like 34
Mm.
degrees Fahrenheit when,
Snow everywhere. Her dress in the snow.
and what is that little fire gonna do?
Nothing.
Absolutely
Nothing at
nothing.
all. I will say though, they seem to both be pleased physically.
Mhm.
But she said, we'll have to wait and see, how our personalities get along. So
Yeah. But he seems to think that their personalities will mesh together. And I'm just like, I'm still not too sure about that part. But they seem to hit it off. Like I didn't think their um, interactions were awkward at all. He
mm,
said that he loves that she's bubbly and confident. He's not a huge partier, but he said he's Russian. And so his dad drinks
mhm.
vodka for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah.
I don't really know what that means and how that will work with her, but I don't
I mean, maybe she won't fit in with him, but she will with the parents.
know.
So it's like a thing where it's like, oh, Russians like to drink a lot of vodka.
Yeah, I
So.
can't wait till Claire and Cameron have their wedding because I think that's when we usually do our predictions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All
All
right.
right.
So on to Becca and Austin.
Mm-hmm.
So before they even met, I started to see a little bit of why they were matched. I think they both have like a quirky side.
Mm-hmm.
And I initially put down, I don't think he will be turned off by her hair. Because remember last week we were saying, oh, she has the pink hair. We don't know how he'll feel about it, how his family will feel about it. But he seems just as quirky as she is, except with, not pink hair.
Yeah, I get quirky with a frat boy party side with
Yeah.
him. I get quirky with her.
Yes. But also
Mm,
remember, he was the one at the batch party who didn't really want
yeah.
to engage. So there are things about them that are so similar before they even meet up with each other. And so I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, maybe this is something that could work.
Yeah. I could see why they paired them together. Um, Liked her dress. I feel like it fits her personality. Definitely
Twitter
gave me
wasn't feeling it.
Renaissance Festival before she said it. So
Yeah. Twitter was
yeah.
like, wow, so Becca really went with that dress, huh? I'm like, dang. But
I
I like
feel
it
like
for her.
what I don't know if it was her energy or what it was, but the dress felt fitting, flowy, easygoing.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought she looked great in it. I think
Especially on
it's
the wedding day. Yeah. She looked
yeah.
perfect.
I
Hmm.
feel like you have to find that balance of, okay, it needs to be a wedding dress, but I want it to fit my personality. I want to also be physically comfortable in it as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I liked her in it. The girls were sitting nice. I think she looked good. So
Austin kept talking about, oh, I'm 100% going to give 100%, and it's going to be 100%, 100%. I said, okay, Austin.
you better keep that same energy all the way through.
Exactly. The whole season. Okay. Like
Yeah. And
all 8 weeks.
especially given the complicatedness it's in terms of like her health.
Mm,
So I really hope that he's not just blowing smoke. Obviously, we have to give him a chance to hear the information first.
mhm.
But yeah, I hope he's all in because I feel like she's going through a lot physically,
Yeah.
and I can't imagine also layering, this on top of it. I feel like this process is a lot for people who have nothing else going on.
Yeah. But for her with the physical. Yeah. I thought it was interesting that he chose her perfume.
See
So
that
you know, here she goes.
I yeah, I am going. Uh I don't know. It's giving me production. Out of all the perfumes,
That's what I said.
I
Out of
I
all the
could see
fragrances.
if her favorite perfume line was the Gucci line. Okay, but you picked Bloom and her favorite is, I don't know, Gucci Guilty. Not the exact same one. No.
Really?
Y'all let us know in the comments. Do you think this guy hit a home run the first try on her perfume?
I don't care what anybody says. I'm gonna believe it because
So something that she said where I'm like, oh, somebody in production could have smelled it on her or said, oh, your perfume smells so good. Because she said it's the perfume she wears every day, not just that this is a perfume that's in her collection.
but would he have the same producer as her?
I don't know. Maybe they talk. Listen, I can't go down the rabbit hole with you on how all the intricacies of how this would have worked.
You
But
started the rabbit hole.
what I'm saying is that I it's not far-fetched that they found out the perfume and
Okay.
they mentioned it to him. It's just way too many perfumes out there.
I didn't watch the entire after party, but she did say that he went to the store and, tried out several, and that was just the one that he liked the most. So,
I wish she would have showed me the name of it because that would have given me confirmation. Like, is it a niche one? Is it a niche perfume or is it a pretty standard perfume that most department stores would have?
yeah, but Yosha is skeptical. She is skeptical.
But- and I have good reason given the whole Michael storyline.
Why was he even on our screens again?
Let's get back focused though to Becca and
Okay.
Austin.
So Becca and Austin, his mom, I actually took a
He's fine.
screenshot. I took a screenshot of her face at the wedding. So she said, I was not happy about this in the beginning at all. And she took a long pause. I'm like, and you still not happy, girl. Like, we could tell. She's like, but you're grown and I'll let you decide. Like, girl, it is written all over your face, Miss Suzanne. Because that's the
I
only name they
know.
kept on the screen long enough for me to know her name.
I know. She really thinks she's trying. I don't
But
know.
she did show up. She could have not shown up. There have
Mm.
been, family members in the past who were like, I don't support this. I'm not showing up. She showed up. She walked him down. She sat through
Mhm.
the awkwardness of the ceremony, which we'll get through. We'll get to in a second. Uh, okay. So Becca and her bridesmaids with all the tears, it just makes me feel like, Lord, please let this work for this girl. Because you could tell it's such an emotional thing for them. And even for Austin, like when he was up there crying,
Mhm.
so it makes you, as raggedy as this show has been in the last several seasons,
We
I'm
all have
still
hope.
like, yeah, exactly. I'm still like, oh, this could be, the one season that takes us back to the good old seasons like New Orleans and whatever else,
Mhm.
not Atlanta.
Yeah.
But yeah, this could be that one season that gets us back on a good track with this show.
Yeah. Because I think we want balance. Okay, we want a little bit of shenanigans, but we
Yeah.
also want a few genuine love stories.
Hmm.
And we want to feel like the experts are at least trying with these matches. So,
Exactly. Yeah. So I think Becca and Austin are a good match. So she pretty much bounces down the aisle.
well, wait, let's not
But
forget his flower man. What
oh,
did you think about that?
I've seen it done better on the internet.
Mm,
Yeah, I've seen it done way better than that. I do like the idea of a flower man. I think it's cute, if you are a couple that has a sense of humor.
hmm.
I like it. Yeah, it could have been better. 6 out of 10.
Yeah, that when I saw him hand him the fanny packs, I'm like, okay, and what is he going to be doing with that?
I wish I could show you. There's this YouTuber, only one Jess, and her brothers. She has two brothers, and both of them were the flower men. And I think they came
Mhm.
down to it might have been leave the door open. And they
Mm.
were like doing the flowers, but they did an excellent job. And to me, nobody's ever gonna top that. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, okay. He was handing out liquor or something. I don't know. This
Yeah,
flower man had multiple occupations for this wedding.
I wrote down that that was risky on Austin's part because he doesn't know his
Her
bride.
family.
She also doesn't drink. And so who knows? He could have been paired with someone who wanted a bit more seriousness about,
Absolutely.
the occasion. So,
It
yeah.
was a huge risk.
I think it worked out fine given who he
Yeah,
was paired with, but that was risky. Because I
absolutely.
know many of people could have been annoyed. Like, what is this?
I probably would have been annoyed. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not like I have a sense of humor, I think, but okay,
Hmm.
leave that out. Yeah.
Not on that day.
Unless I'm the one who decided it, then you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Can we get to her bounce down the
Yeah.
aisle?
Mm, 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 mm.
Girl, when she walked in, she was so like engaged with his side of the room. And I
And
thought
they were
that was
cheering for her.
yeah. Like
Mhm,
I for a second I was like, does she know them or something? But she didn't. She was just very enthusiastic. And
mhm,
I just love from just this episode, it seems
mhm.
like there are couples who are really here for this process. And I can appreciate that. And I think they're one of them,
I
Austin
could
and
see
Becca.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Even their first glance at each other and
and
the
his
emotions were high.
that
He's
was so sweet.
crying.
Yeah. Cause I feel like people who have known each other don't get that type of reaction.
Mhm,
But the fact that this is his first time seeing her, and that was the reaction that he had, I thought it was a really beautiful moment. I loved
mhm,
her bouncing down the aisle, of her being like, "Do you have that tissue?" and trying to like, show him
mhm.
care. I don't know. It was really cute. I like the weddings this
It
season.
was. I smiled the entire time, and I'm like, "Oh, see, this is why I enjoy watching Married at First Sight." It's like, yeah, you're gonna have the, awkward weddings and
Yeah.
the, "Oh, I don't know." You could
Mhm.
just feel it, but it was nice to have one where it felt genuine and right.
Even Miss Suzanne was smiling up
Even
until
she was.
up until her side of the family says something about she's gonna be your
Sex
sex
fixing.
vixen.
It's always one family who just do too much.
And she's like, whoa, I'm so sorry. Why was that even in there? Yeah. Why was that? You need to check your people after. Why was that in there, huh? So yeah. But the way that I actually have a screenshot on my phone. I don't know if there's a way to like I would have to pull up my whole phone here.
Mhm.
But Miss Suzanne was not feeling it. We could make it the thumbnail too, but she literally like turned to the side when she saw
Let's
it.
see.
She was like, so anyway,
Mm, mm, mm.
besides that though, I think everything went well.
Yep. They gave
And
each other lots of compliments.
you know,
Yeah.
I loved
Mm,
that she kept the conversation light. So to
mhm.
me, this is not a man that she knows. So any of her health things should come up not this day. Like
Oh, I
maybe
agree.
yeah, and so I appreciated that, like, because there is so much more to her than physical conditions. And so I really appreciated that she kept the conversation light. She's letting him get to know her. She's getting to know him without just being like, oh, well, all of this is going on. Like, you guys just met. You don't even know if you like him. Try to build some type of
Mhm.
rapport with him before you
And
know,
it is his wedding day, your wedding day.
yeah,
Even if you knew each other before, you could both go into that day knowing, okay, we're going to enjoy our day. We'll deal with
mhm,
whatever else
comes
tomorrow.
up.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you feel like so far, Austin seeming like someone who would be what it is that Becca needs? And I'm just hoping that I'm right. But
Based off of how the wedding went, I have hope. Even
yeah,
him asking for a kiss, I don't know, the energy just felt right. Then when they go and sit down,
mm,
he's like, "Hey, I have a girl roommate." He comes right out and gives that information,
yeah.
showing like, "Hey, I'm willing to be transparent. I don't want you to feel away or find out after the fact." Uh,
Michael from Boston. You remember when Jasmina was like,
mhm.
"Is that your? Who is that?"
And she finds out when she's at the apartment.
Girl, yeah,
Yeah, so
I
I
like.
I wrote down that I'm getting good vibes, but I know how this show is, so it's hard to not be so pessimistic.
It really is difficult, but so far, let's hold on to our happy moments while
Yeah.
they last.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all that I have for
Oh,
them.
and they seem to both like each other physically. So I
Yes,
don't foresee
yes,
that it'll be an attraction thing.
issue. Yeah,
So,
and they both played. Was it Nintendo 64? Did you hear
Mario
that in
Kart
their vows?
something.
Yeah, he was like, I have
Mhm.
one in my room. So anyway, we're liking them. Uh,
Oh, something that the friend said about him is that he suffers, I guess, with indecisiveness.
oh.
That was said, I think, with the tuck shopping, if I don't believe.
I
Um,
missed that.
yeah, so that was something I wrote down like, I hope either you're gonna be all in or you're not. So,
If he is all in, I feel like because she's this woman who has built a great business for herself, I would hope that her decisiveness could balance his indecisiveness.
yeah.
That's my
Yep.
hope for them.
This
That's
is
how I'm
not
going to spin it.
yeah, a marriage is not something you're like, like if you're
Yeah.
gonna be in, you need to be in. So,
Maybe that's why he needed this process. Maybe he was too
and
indecisive in
that's
the
what he
beginning.
said.
Yeah.
So,
So it
yep.
works. And now he got Queen Becca. I like her a lot.
Mhm.
Okay. Lauren and Orion. They literally
Mm.
like took my breath away. And I'm not even like a hopeless romantic and all that. Is it hopeless romantic or helpless? I don't know.
I
Whatever
think
it is, I
hopeless.
ain't it.
Okay, tell us why.
But okay, it was everything. One, Lauren looked amazing.
Mhm.
Like stunning with her curls before they even did all the makeup and stuff. I was like, oh, okay, Lauren, I see
Mhm.
you. But just like the way that they're talking about approaching the marriage. So when she was sitting there with her friends and she's like, I would want to make sure like he's this type of a person. And
Mhm.
physical things are important. So she did stress like, okay, that is important, but it's not like the primary thing.
Mhm.
And then he too, on the other side, was saying stuff like, oh, okay, for me, what's important is, and it was all character stuff. It was all, this is the type
Mhm.
of person I can see, despite what they might look like. This is
Yeah.
the type of person that I see myself with. And so I was like, the process was made for them.
Yeah,
You
I wrote down that everyone on this show should go into this process with this mindset. I
absolutely
don't understand. People were like, "Oh, if you're not this, if you're not that, you're not picking your spouse." I mean, come on. What do you expect?
get over it. Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I say I really appreciated them focusing on what the relationship will look like as opposed to physical stuff. You know what I thought was
Mhm.
funny?
Mm.
So they keep moving the names off the screen, but her brother's name is Marcellus and his wife's name is Marcelette. I'm like, did somebody change their name? Because that is so insane that
Yeah,
they
that's
see each
very
other.
close. Sounds
Right?
like twins.
It does. That's why when she was like, oh, I got this from your mom, I was like, is that her sister? But no, it's her sister in law.
Yeah, she's married to the brother. Yep.
Marcellus and Marcelette. But we did. I don't know if you remember which one, but we had a friend in college who her significant other's mom changed her name to match her husband's name, and then they named all their kids the same, like all their kids' names rhyme.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So I'm like, maybe it's one of those type of situations. But anyway, that's just an aside that I noticed. I had to go back and make sure I wasn't like seeing double.
Mhm.
Okay.
But yeah.
So both of their families seemed very supportive. Like Lauren's family was like, "Hey, I think you're really ready for this." His family was
Mhm.
supportive, like his mom, his sister was
Mhm.
there. And I think it's usually a positive thing when both of the families are like supportive on this show, I've noticed.
I think their families understood the assignment.
Perfectly. They created the assignment. Like that that's how well they
Seriously.
understood it. It was
Yep.
so perfect. Yeah, because the things that they said about them when they were at the altar, like, "Oh, these are the
Mhm.
things you need to know about her. These are the things you need to," like, it was nothing disrespectful. Like, it's like their families are taking the marriage as seriously as they are already, and I think that is a wonderful way to go into it.
Yeah, even down to the gifts that they got each other,
Ugh,
the turquoise necklace and then the aged, was it rum in the flask?
mhm.
So, yeah, I'm getting good vibes from them so far. I wrote
Like,
down that
she
I
got me
love
a
how much.
flask, a really nice one. I was like, "That's so cute."
I wrote down, I love how much he is into his culture. I just hope that is open to learning about hers as well, since he doesn't know this yet, but they are from different backgrounds. So I hope that as much as she's open, he's open as well. And it can't just be all about his culture, his culture, his culture. So,
Yeah, and I even the appreciation that she had because he wrote her a note with his gift,
mhm.
and so even the appreciation that she had for it, I love the way when she walked down, like, the way that he smiled at her.
The way they both looked,
They
I
were
was just
pleased.
like, this is it. And I think last week we were worried, like, we don't
How is
know.
it gonna go? Yeah,
Mhm.
and she expressed those same concerns that we had, last week,
Um,
you know, she was like,
yeah, because you said you were like, oh, I don't know if he's tall enough, but I was like, I think he will be.
"Pretty tall." Yeah, they're about the
Because she
same
had
height,
on
and she had on
heels.
heels. Yeah.
Hmm.
And she
But
said he was tall. So I was like, "Okay,
yeah.
girl, we'll take your word for it." You know, you can't tell on TV who's short and who's not.
Yeah, that's true. It depends on who they're standing next to, because she did say that she wanted someone big and strong. I wouldn't say that he's big per se, but he is tall,
Yeah.
to keep her warm out in Denver.
Okay. Yeah,
Mm.
she gonna need it. But he said you look phenomenal. I don't know. I love like the adjectives that people use. So I'm always, very mindful of what they say. But he said you look phenomenal. She said, I love your earrings, which, that could have been something that someone saw and was like, oh, I'm not interested in someone who wear, but she appreciated it. They just went in so open. And
Mhm.
can I just say these are the best vows I've heard on this show? Like
Yeah.
they need to go into a vow writing business. I hope their marriage works out and I hope they go into a vow writing business because they also understood the assignment.
Yeah, I feel like Lauren had a few quotables I wrote down where she said that she promises to be more curious than
And
critical. I'm
critical.
like,
Yep. Yep. And to prioritize connection over correction and disagreements. I said,
okay, girl, you better
bars.
hit up Hallmark.
Okay. Listen, she got a job waiting for her somewhere because that was that was amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
but no, those are my favorite vows that I've heard on this show. I think the experts did well, and a part of
And
his
that's what they said. They kept saying the experts
yeah,
did really well. I mean, they have to redeem themselves after everything.
that I feel like they just have to end the season here because I don't want to see anything negative about this couple. I don't want to see them go through any trials or tribulations. They just
Girl,
have to end the season here
you
because
know they're about to take us for a ride.
I'm too invested in Lauren and I'm just too invested. They have to
Yeah.
make it work. I'm sorry
The
for me.
vibes, the energy. What did
For
she say?
me,
Ooh, she's like, my hubby is tall and cute. Just
Mhm.
everything was just the way that it needs to be. He asked for a kiss.
Yes,
Thank you. I feel like the men are finally learning. Ask.
and they
Ask.
went in.
And they went in.
They
And
went
she enjoyed it though. So I
Yeah,
love it for
look,
her.
did you see her after they finished, the way she looked at her girls?
Right. Now, I will say, when he first walked in, the way the friends were looking and
Mhm.
the family on her side
You weren't
was
sure.
like, I was nervous.
Mhm.
I was like, "Oh, I hope that that's not an indication of how they think she's going to react." So
Yeah.
when I saw her smile, I was like, "Yes."
Yeah. You kn you know who the main character was? That split in Lauren's dress? That split
Legs,
it's legs
legs,
for
baby.
days. Okay. I was like, that split is the main character of this whole ceremony. When they turned to
Mhm,
walk back out, I was like, okay, I
mhm,
don't remember seeing that when she tried it on, but okay, girl. But yeah,
mhm.
I thought it was good. Um, that's really all that oh no, the when they sat down with each other.
Yeah, she was complimenting, saying that she wanted someone who had a nice sense of style. She was complimenting him on how he looked, because I think he asked, "Are you pleased
Yeah.
with how I look?" So I liked that he expressed that vulnerability, because I think usually it's the women who are like, "Oh, are you okay with how I look? Yeah, you
Yeah.
think I'm cute?" So I was happy that he was the one that asked, and he said that she was everything that he envisioned.
I know. Isn't that so sweet? They
I
gotta
said,
cut the whole season short because there's no way they cannot work out. I'm sorry.
"Girl, you know anything is possible."
Uh, I know. But I did like that. He was like, no, you actually put me at ease. They were curious about each other, asking questions. She asked about his hair and what like that
Mhm.
signified. I guess she does hair. And so like I know when the
Okay.
families were talking about, different things, she was like, oh, I could help you with that. Like, they were conversing
Mhm,
during the ceremony about things that they compliment because he's a handy person and she's like, I can do handy stuff, but I wanted a break. Like I'm tired. I want
mhm,
somebody to do that stuff for me. So I love that he fits into that role.
mhm.
I do.
I did write, though, do you to ask you, do you think that the romantic vibes are there based off what you saw?
Why? Because you don't think they are? Don't mess this up
How
for
about you
me.
just answer the question?
You better not mess this up for me. I think the romantic
I
vibes,
can't ask a question.
no. I think the romantic vibes are there. I think they have physical attraction, they
Mhm,
have chemistry, and now it's just about getting to know each other. And I think sometimes the way that a man like pursues can have
mhm,
an effect on how the woman sees him, like whether there's romance
mhm,
or not. So I think one, him asking for the kiss, but the way that he went in, like
mhm,
I think that even that in of itself, even if she didn't feel like, oh, he's giving me romance vibes, like that in of itself, just his like, being a little bit forward with that move, I
mhm.
think would have helped it. Why?
Okay. I was just curious, because last week I was watching some reviews that were saying like, they don't
Oh,
know if they would see the romantic vibe with them. Maybe more so friends. They
okay.
enjoy each other's company and energy, but the romance piece. But I feel like you're right. The kiss showed that he's definitely interested, and
And I
she
love that.
seems
Yeah.
open at this point. So,
Absolutely. I when she voiced the concern of, I can't lie, I was a little nervous, like, oh, am I gonna be what he expected when I walked down? And then she's like, and I saw a mirror and I'm like, girl, you look good. And then that's when
mhm,
he said the whole you're exactly what I envisioned thing. But I will say, I don't know that I paid attention to his looks last week, but he's a very nice looking man. Like this week
mhm,
I think it just hit me more maybe because he was in the suit up there, but
mhm.
he's a very nice looking guy and I want them to work.
I feel with this show, though, you can have nice looking people, but if it's not what they that
Want
are involved are open to, and you just never know. I mean, look at the Alyssas, whereas they say that they're so open and so whatever, but they're not.
yeah.
So,
But this
yeah.
this couple I think really is. So I'm excited to see where things go. Hopefully up. Hopefully up. Huh.
Mm,
Anyway, let us know.
we'll
Do you
see.
love this couple as much as we do so far? Because we never know what might happen later. But
Mhm.
hopefully things end up well.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think last we have. Did you want to talk about Michael at all? I just don't. There's
briefly.
not much. They showed some of the same stuff. The woman was the one who gave him the crown and the sword.
Sword. Which we didn't know last week, so I think that was misleading the way that they
Exactly.
showed
Yeah, because
it.
we were saying like, okay, I wouldn't want to, that would put me off
Mhm.
too if someone was wearing that stuff when I came down the aisle. Um, their their editing was off because at certain points he would have the sword and the crown, and then he wouldn't have it. And so that's how
Mhm.
you know, like they definitely did some type of refilming and didn't pay attention to details because those scenes were really choppy.
That, and do you believe that, well, you were saying that it seemed staged and that the whole thing was a dramatization.
Hmm.
Knowing that she gave him the sword and the crown, and she wrote this note that was super short and awkward to
Hmm.
me. Um,
Did she
do
write the
you
note though?
right. So I was gonna ask you, do you think that she wrote the note? Do you think that she gifted him the crown and the sword? Like at what point, what do you believe of this whole
Yeah.
thing? Because it's not adding up that it was that she got down to the altar and then said no. And then you didn't really see any of her friends and family.
I don't think she got down to the altar at all. I don't know if it was that someone commented this about the after party or if this was the
Mhm.
part that I saw, but she decided before going down that it wasn't going to happen. And I think that's when she backed out. But I don't think she actually went down. I think they reworked everything so that he could give that response, which was very gentlemanly. But I don't think that was like his knee jerk reaction in the moment. I think that was a refilm. And then they had her say some words too, like, oh, what a great guy. That was not whoever the lady was, the mystery lady, that was not her voice. I just don't believe it.
No.
I don't believe any of it except for he got her a tennis bracelet, a diamond tennis bracelet or something like that, as a part of the gift. So I believe that. And that was one of the gifts that she left behind for him. But I don't think
Mhm.
she wrote the note. I don't think she walked down that aisle. And I
Don't think
definitely
she
don't
gave him the sword
I
and
think that's
crown.
possible.
I don't know if I believe that.
You think
I
he would
think that
just
was
show
a
up with
part.
a sword and a hat?
No, I think it was a part of the dramatization and the recreating of the scene to
Mm.
add to the over the topness of it,
So
because
you
they
think
specifically
production.
led us to believe that he picked out to wear the crown and the sword and not that she gave it to him. They
Hmm.
had to add more to it to stretch it out because he was just in this episode way too much.
He was, because we saw that stuff last week. Why do we need to see
And
it
then they
again?
piecemealed all this other stuff that she said. We see more of her walking out. And what did she say? Oh, I don't think I can do this. I can't marry a stranger.
It was so
Y'all should have picked a
staged.
better actor than that.
Baby. I feel like they just put somebody from production in a white dress and sent her down. I don't even think they paid an actress. Like, they
That's
just
exactly what it looked like. It
it's
was
so
a mess. And when he was talking to the friends later in the episode, one of the friend was like, "Oh yeah, you handle it very well, and
mhm.
your demeanor, everything is good, but I'm just gonna say she wasted everybody's time, and we'll be upset for you." I said,
Yeah,
"That's my kind of friend."
absolutely. Absolutely. And he's I think you said it last week, but he's 38. So he was talking about, oh, I'm starting to
Mhm.
maybe accept that it's never gonna happen. So I think and I hope that they're gonna find him another match, a runner up, I guess, and I hope that it ends well for him. But
They
um
need to get him out of leave him out of these scenes until
for
you
now,
show back
until
up.
his bride. They're about to milk it. We're gonna see him go back to his house and talk about why he's not on the honeymoon and how he feels about not being able to take the trip and how what were his expectations. They're gonna milk it, but we'll just act like that's not gonna happen because we liked some of the other couples.
Mhm.
Claire and Cameron. I do want to
Okay.
take back something I said because I was like, is he just someone who moved here recently? So he's been
Oh
here
yeah, he's been here for
10 years. And so he is quite situated in Colorado. And he's from New
mhm.
Zealand, not,
I was close. I said
you
Australia.
said Australia. What did I say? I said Ireland, didn't I?
Mhm. Yeah.
He could still be from Ireland.
Okay. Okay.
No, but
Ah,
okay. So he's from New Zealand. Uh, Claire's family is another one that makes me hope that this works out, but I'm not sure yet. like just based on the gifts, I was like, oh, okay, it's probably going to be a rocky start. Like her expectations versus her reality are going to be completely different. And what kind of ugly stuff is that?
And she never finished reading the note.
So, hmm,
Yeah, from what we saw, so it doesn't sound like he explained what it is, or maybe they chopped it up to
yeah, I
leave
think
that
that's
part out, and maybe there was a bigger reason why
hmm.
he gave her the stuffed animal, but I could tell she was on edge after that and not here for it.
I could understand because other people, like when they received the gifts, they were more at ease. Like, oh, I'm ready for it. I think Lauren even said that. Oh, I'm ready for it now. Like, I can see that.
Yeah, she's probably thinking, "What kind of weirdo?"
I know.
I did write down though that for yeah, he doesn't have any family there, but even just friends while shopping for the tux, and it seems like he only has the what's her name, Miss Nancy, and I
Her
forgot the
husband.
husband's name, but we'll call it the godparents. He only has them, it
Mhm.
seems like.
That is what it seemed like. So
And
I don't know. But
then
did
the
he have other groomsmen though? I felt like there were other people around. I know the Godfather was
um,
talking more, but I felt like there was at least one, maybe
there
two other people.
was, but I don't feel like they showed them
Much.
very much for us to remember. And
Yeah.
then on her side, she was getting worried because the sisters and the mom, she was saying, y'all can be very judgy and y'all need to calm down. Then the sister said something about, oh, what about his family? What if he doesn't have family? And I was like, that's an
Why
odd.
would you say that?
Like, I would just assume everybody has family
As
until I met
family.
you.
That also rubbed me kind of like a little bit the wrong way because why would that be the thing that you say?
And then I understand wanting families to get along, but say it was my sister or brother who was getting married.
Mhm.
I don't know if I would say to them, at least in front of them, like, oh, well, I hope we all get along and I hope that their family. I wouldn't even say anything just because it's a toss up. And that's one less thing I'd hope to put pressure on you about, especially on your wedding day.
What am I supposed to do? I don't
What
know
if
them
they are
either.
crazy? What if we don't get along? And like that, these are things that you cross, I feel, after. So
Yeah.
I didn't care for that part.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then one of her sisters was saying, like, right before she walked down the aisle, how, just skeptical of the whole situation she was, but hoping that it worked out well for her. And so I'm like, oh, well, those are words to leave somebody with before they walk down the aisle. But okay. But nobody's as bad as Emily's friend. So I guess that's fine.
And what was, her family, I feel, were very supportive upon them finding out. Remember?
Even when they went to the dresses, like they were supportive the entire
Hmm.
time. So this was the first time we're hearing that sister voice her concerns
Yeah.
or anybody. So, but
I
I
don't
think
know.
it does
I'm
matter
I'm not feeling confident on
about this match.
about this match, the energy that her family is giving on the wedding day.
Okay.
He looks like he's about to explode at the altar, just unsettled,
Yeah.
just I don't know.
Did he say something about not being sure that that was the right gift? Oh yeah, when he received hers, he was like, "Now I'm not sure I got her the right gift."
And I did write down maybe this gift, because he has been in the US, but he was, I guess, predominantly raised somewhere else. So I'm
Mhm.
thinking, okay, maybe there's more to this gift than what
Yeah.
we know. And I'm gonna give him time to explain himself.
And that's what she says she's gonna do too. So listen, if she's gonna do it, we should all do it.
Yeah.
But that's really all that I had on them. Hopefully the season, I'm sure it'll pick up in the next few weeks. But I enjoyed this
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah, we have one more wedding, then the receptions,
Mhm.
then the honeymoon. So,
And yeah, but sometimes no, it's not just the honeymoon because they go into the night of the wedding and then they meet
oh
the families,
yeah.
remember, the next day.
Oh, we got a long ride ahead of us. Y'all stay with us.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week. Let us know how you feel about the couples. All right. Bye.
Bye.